Yo, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel, and today we got some pretty cool news to look at. We have the Shiny Treasure slash Paldean Fate set to look at here on Poke Beach. We have a couple of new cards to look at, some cards that are getting shiny versions, and potential rotation news. Yes, there is potential rotation news here to look at, or at the very least, we might have our first look at when we are going to get rotation. We don't have an official announcement yet as to when rotation is, but there are some important things to kind of note here with some of these new stuff. So I did want to look at some of these new things. There is a brand new EX that got revealed in the Shiny Treasure set that I wanted to look at in today's video, so we're going to go ahead and do that here on the second channel. There wasn't a whole lot of new cards to look at, that's why I never really did a video on it, but I did want to combine these two together, because I think they're both kind of decent topics to talk about simultaneously. So, yeah, we are going to be getting a Shiny mini set, much like Hidden Fates and Shining Fates. In January, we're going to be getting a Paldean Fate set, I think it's called. Japan is going to be getting the Shiny Treasure set. And yeah, it's basically just like another Shiny set. There's a lot of Shiny cards here. As you can see, we have Shiny Mew EX. We have, you know, a Shiny Toadskrull EX, which is actually kind of cool. We never got a full art of that, so it'll be cool to have one. But then, we have a new reverse holo effect, which looks pretty interesting. We got some new things, and here is some of the artwork for what the set's going to look like. Paldean Fates. Again, it's just like Shining Fates, Hidden Fates. It's just a mini set that has shiny Pokemon and a couple of new cards in it. Nothing too crazy there, but the shiny Pokemon are nice. I know a lot of people are big fans of them. This is the Shiny EX main set list right here. But yeah, there is a brand new EX to look at. We have an Ethrafa EX, which we are going to look at once we get to it. But most of the, the cards in the set, they are going to be reprints. We see like alternate artworks here for the starter EXs. We see just a lot of reprinted cards, but there are a lot of shinies in the set too, right? So we can scroll down here. We do have like a couple new cards. I mean, we've already looked at the Iron Treads. There's a new Goldengo. There's a new Cyclizar that I guess we can maybe look at when we get down there. But yeah, I don't think there's even any new. There's a couple new trainers. We've already looked at them though. We've looked at the new TM. I think we've looked at these new supporters here. No new special energy, but there are some new cards. So there are 17 brand new cards in the set. Now, 17 brand new cards doesn't mean we're only getting 17 new cards in our main set. I'm pretty sure Paldean Fates is going to have more than 17 new cards in it. We're probably going to see the Moonlight Hill Stadium in the set. I think we're going to get the Scovillain EX also in the set. So there's 2 new cards on top of that. So I don't know if we're going to get any more cards in that bundle. There might be a few promos I'm missing. But I do think that we're going to see Scovillain EX and Moonlight Hill Stadium within Paldean Fates. So we can look at some of the new cards, starting off with the new Ethrafa EX. Ethrafa, I don't know if I said that right. It is a grass Pokemon, relevant typing right now, and then of course it does have an ability. It's got Dazzling Gaze. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, attacks used by your opponent's active Pokemon cost a colorless more. So it's one of those annoying abilities where it forces your opponent to have to play more energy to attack. You could combine this with Pokemon League headquarters and make basic Pokemon have to use 2 more extra energy to attack you, which is actually kind of annoying, to be honest. This could be a pretty cool anti-basic deck, because again, you can combine this with the League headquarters. And its attack Psyball does 30 for 1 Psychic. This attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. So it's one of those where it makes both players attach, more energy, do more damage. You can, of course, combine this with, like, double Turbo Energy to hit a little bit harder. Of course, your opponent's going to have energy on their active, especially when you combine it with the ability where you're forcing them to have to attach an extra energy to their Pokemon. Combine that with the Psyball attack. You're actually doing a decent chunk of damage, which is pretty cool. So it's really not that bad of an attacker, in all honesty. It's not the worst card ever. It is a Stage 1 Pokemon, so it isn't a Stage 2, which is nice. Being able to just evolve it immediately, use the annoying ability, definitely makes it a pretty okay card. And again, I think it's probably going to be best with, like, League headquarters, which could be kind of cool. Could be annoying for, like, Lost Zone decks to play against, because, like, for example, something like the Iron Hands in Lost Zone needs 5 energy, or the Roaring Moon needs 4 energy. So you have to commit, like, double Mirage Gate. Sableye needs 2 energy. So it's going to be good against, like, decks like Lost Zone variants. And, of course, again, could just be good against all those basic decks, like Miraidon and Roaring Moon and stuff like that. Even something like Charizard. So I definitely like this card. I think it's actually pretty playable. I don't know if there's any other, like, playable Ethrafas. I know there's one from Paradox Rift, but I don't think that's, like, playable. There's no real synergy with it. I think this card is just pretty solid all around. There's a new Charmeleon. I think we've already looked at this. New Frigibacks, it's only got 70 HP. We've looked at the Kilowattrel. We've looked at the Mime Jr., I think. We do have a Great Tusk and Iron Treads, which, of course, are going to be ancient and future Pokemon, but we've already looked at those. But we do have a brand new Goldango. This is the first time we have a Goldango that is not a rule box Pokemon. So it does have the attack Bountiful Riches for 1 colorless energy. Attach any number base metal energy from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. And then you have Gorgeous Surf, which for metal and 2 colorless does 80 damage. Flip a coin for each metal energy on this Pokemon. This does 80 damage for each head. So not the greatest card ever, but you know what? It is a pretty fun card. If you want to play this with Magnezone, you can probably just make it work with Magnezone, where, of course, you just pile a ton of metal energies on it, and you just go crazy with the attack. I mean, we've seen this before on, like, fun cards like the Maractus, where you just put a bunch of energy on it. We've seen Cramorant VMAX, which actually, this attack is very similar to Cramorant VMAX, because it is 80 times like Cramorant did. And Cramorant was a lot of fun to play back in the day. That was a fun VMAX to try. So this is kind of similar to that, where you just pile a bunch of energy on it, you flip coins. Again, there's no coin flip reflip card in the format, but it's really not that bad of it. It's not that bad. It'll be a fun meme deck to try out. Is basically the best way to play it. It'll be a meme deck for sure. It is nice. It is a stage 1, so it's fine. You can play it with Magnezone, play a bunch of energy. New Cyclizar. It is a dragon Pokemon, keep in mind. Its attack Rapid Drive for a Grass, Dark, and a colorless energy. Does 100 damage. You flip a coin of heads during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all damage and effects of attacks on this Pokemon. It's basically just Fly on Flying Pikachu that does 100 damage instead of 120. Not really that playable. I don't think this Cyclizar is going to be good. There's no way to even reflip the attack. There's no reason to really play this card overall. The Goldango and Ethrafa, though, are pretty decent. I think those are the only new cards. Well, I guess there's Nemona's Backpack. I forgot to mention. Put up the 2 and Nemona from your discard pile in your hand. I think Nemona is the... Is it the Draw 3 card? It might be the Draw 3 card. I can't remember. Hold on. Let me look here on TCU Live. I think it's... I actually forgot. I'm pretty sure it's the Draw 3... let me see here. Yeah, it's just a Draw 3 card. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so, I mean, there's a way to, get Draw 3 back into your hand. Maybe this could be good in, like, Tinkatuff, like a deck that wants to, like, build up a big hand, because this, obviously, you can play this with Nemona, put the Nemona back in your hand that you played, and then keep building your hand up. That's the only deck I can think this card would ever be good in, because nobody plays Draw 3 cards, obviously. I think we've looked at Clive already. Your opponent reveals their hand, draw 2 cards for each supporter. We've seen that. And that's about it. And then we have all the secret rares, all the shinies. I guess we can look at. We do have a shiny Baxcalibur. That's one of the more notable shinies. Obviously, Baxcalibur is a pretty good card. There's a shiny Luxray, which is also good. Of course, the one that can be put into play if you're behind in prizes. We do get shiny United Wings. So United Wings might make a small comeback thanks to the new Kilowattrel. And we are going to get shiny versions of the wings to go with it. There's a shiny Spiritomb, which is kind of funny. So we got a way to beat Mew and Bling. There you go. Shiny. Well, I guess by the time... Well, we'll talk about rotation soon. We are going to be discussing rotation in this video. But that is coming out. We do also have a shiny Halucha, which is not bad. The one we bench, you put 2 damage counters on stuff. Shiny Scizor is pretty good. That's one I'm excited for. Obviously, Scizor is a pretty strong card in the game, in my opinion. There's the shiny Ditto here, too, which is cool. The one that, like, gives you an extra basic. Some Lost Zone decks do play that. Obviously, shiny Toadstool is kind of exciting. We never got, like, a shiny version of that. Shiny Gardevoir. Let me know what shiny card you're most excited for. I don't think we've seen everyone revealed quite yet. We are getting a new Full Art Judge, too, by the way. Let me know what you think of this Full Art Judge compared to the other ones. I'd be interested to hear. But yeah, those are all the shinies. Shiny Squawkabilly and Pidgeot are kind of cool, too, I guess. Obviously, we have to get another shiny Charizard. Wouldn't be a set without a shiny Charizard in it. But anyways, moving on, we can talk about the potential rotation news. So Temporal Forces is going to be coming out in March. Now, this is going to be our next Scarlet and Violet main set. So we are right now at Scarlet and Violet number 4 with Paradox Rift. And then we're going to get Scarlet and Violet 5 in March. Now, it'll come out on March 22nd. Now, that's quite a ways away. March 22nd is a long time. I mean, you still have to go through the rest of December, January, all of February, and then most of March, because the 22nd is near the end of March. So we have like 4 months still until we get another main set. Now, there are a few things to note here. Since we are getting a main set all the way in March, that does mean that will probably be when rotation is. I think we can kind of safely assume we're probably going to get rotation sometime near EUIC. I mean, that was kind of already to maybe be expected, but there is a good chance we are going to get rotation around EUIC. So, of course, the set will release on March 22nd, and then obviously 2 weeks later, the set will be legal for tournament play, right? So there's a good chance that this set is going to come out with rotation, potentially. That's kind of the theory that I have right now, is that when the set comes out on March 22nd, so March 21st on TCG Live, is when rotation is going to happen. So we might get rotation on March 21st or 22nd. I think that's going to be when we're going to get rotation. Again, there hasn't been an announcement for rotation, but it's very likely they're going to do rotation alongside the release of Temporal Forces, in my opinion. It just makes sense. It would line up with last year when Scarlet and Violet base set came out at the time of EUIC and rotation. So there's a good chance we're going to get the same thing happening here with Temporal Forces, and that's just my opinion on the release date here for Temporal Forces. This might have just given us our first look at when we are going to get rotation. Of course, rotation is going to be Brilliant Stars and on, and this might have just revealed rotation. I think they're going to announce rotation sometime in December or January, as my Regidrago falls again. Yeah, they're probably going to announce rotation sometime in December, January, I imagine. Maybe even December, to be honest. They might do it in December. But I do think we're due for a rotation announcement very, very soon. Now that we have a release date for the next main set that's coming out suspiciously around EUIC, it makes sense to have rotation. Basically around that time. So good chance that when this set drops, rotation will also happen at the same time to coincide with the new set release. I think that would be logical. I don't think they're going to release this set and then have 2 weeks of, the Battle Styles On format with Temporal Forces legal. I think they just release this set and immediately do rotation. Or they'll do rotation after, in between the set and Paldean Fates. I don't think they will do that. Usually they like to do rotation when, a new set drops, but maybe they might do that. I mean, they did that with Evolving Skies, where they did Evolving Skies released first, and then we had rotation 2 weeks later. So maybe something similar happened. We might just get rotation after Paldean Fates or with the release of Paldean Fates. But I do think we're just going to see it with the release of Temporal Forces. It just makes most amount of sense, and I think it is going to be logical. So there you go. We might have had our first look at maybe when we might get rotation. But yeah, there you go, folks. That is it for today's video. I don't really talk too much about Poke news on this channel. I look at new cards and stuff. So this is kind of a new thing I'm doing. But I did think this was an interesting topic because when I saw the announcement of Temporal Forces, I saw a discussion as to when we might have rotation. So I definitely wanted to chime in on that. Let me know what you think rotation will be. Do you think rotation will happen when Temporal Forces drops on the 22nd or 21st of March on live? It always comes out a day earlier. And what do you think of the new shiny set? What's your favorite shiny card? Again, none of these are they're not that there's no new cards. It's all just shinies of older cards. But we had a couple new cards. I mean, the main one is that new Athrafa, which I actually don't think is that bad. Combine it with Crushing Hammer. It's pretty good against Basics and Charizard EX. Decks that will struggle to, get around the ability. I think this is actually a pretty playable card. So, yeah, let me know what you think. I'll see you all in another video. Make sure to subscribe down below if you enjoyed the content here on the second channel. Help me on the road to reaching 10,000 subs. And, yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed. I'll leave a link down below to Poke Beach if you want to go read these articles yourselves. You can and kind of get your own insight and all that stuff. So, yeah, link down below will be to Poke Beach, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.